So it's been a hot minute since we took a look at this animal here. ARC A750 came out in late 22, moderately priced. Now you can find it on eBay for about 150 bucks. 8-pin and 6-pin connector. I think it pulls about 220 watts. 8 gig of VRAM. That's where everybody's going to say, oh, 8 gig. But I think you'll find it still holds up okay. Now, truthfully, with this card, we're only running 1080p, 1440. We're not expecting it to do 4K, even though Intel says it would. This is the Alchemist, the first version of the discrete graphics from Intel. Now, of course, we've got Battle Mage. I've been testing it against the B570. I don't have a B580. I was thinking about getting one of those. Then they had the rumor B770. So I'm going to wait and hold off just a little bit longer. But the A750 slotted in just below that A770 was pretty good. And when it came out, utter disaster. I mean, it was okay, but the drivers, they proclaimed that it was going to be really, really good. And in some newer titles with DX12, it was. DX11, everything beyond was a hot mess. And we showed that quite a while back. And games like World War Z that ran, they had the option for the DirectX 11 and Vulkan. You couldn't select Vulkan, and DirectX 11 was a hot mess. CS2, which ran at that time on DirectX 9, was horrible. It eventually became better. But one thing Intel has done is they have finally fine-tuned their drivers and continually done them this entire time. Now, the last time we actually took a look at this card was back in January of last year, I think it was. And I will tell you that it still has seen some improvements. But we're going to compare it to the B570, which is a decent price. You can find those now for probably a little over $200, maybe $220 or something. And you can get those brand new for, that's a brand new price. You can probably get them a little bit cheaper on eBay or something like that. But we're going to go ahead and take a look. And I'm going to do something a little bit different with the benchmarks now. I've got a couple of games that I'm still testing high, medium, low, and I'll still show those. But I'm starting to get where now I'm just going to show 1080p high and 1080p high, 1440p high, or whatever the equivalent is, because of things like Black Ops 7 can't show you just a high. It has to be ultra or extreme or whatever they want to call it. Don't get me started on games like Black Ops 7. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at these benchmarks. We're going to see that the B570 still does outperform this, but if you're looking for performance, it's still not too bad, including some games you might not expect it to play so well because it is an older card and you might not think that it would be supported. Spoiler, it is. So let's take a look at those and I'll tell you what I think. So you can see that anywhere from, it's going to be anywhere from 5 or 10% slower to about 15, 18% slower in games. Some games like Clear Obscure, Expedition 33 are not going to hit 60 frames per second at 1080p, but that's okay. I mean, you can go down to a lower setting. The game still looks good. It's a playable game, and they overall it still looks beautiful. I'm not complaining too much about that. I think that we, as drivers, Intel has now proven, I believe, that they're going to keep working on drivers. So we'll still see some of those upgrades, and some of those things will get better as we go. And so I believe that and it is one of the prettiest cards, like I said, that I have. I think a card like this is still viable. See if you can get a hold of it for like $150. Don't be afraid of buying an Intel Arc GPU. They're still pretty good looking. They are still performing well. It is a little bit of a power hog. It does pull over 220 watts. So we might go back and look at this compared to some lower wattage cards, because that B570, it's quite a bit less. It only takes, I believe, one 8-pin connector, and I don't remember what the wattage. I want to think it's around 150. If it's different from that, I'll put it down here. I'll mark it. But, and that, I mean, still, for their first effort and for them to continue to support it like that, and drivers, and to show, I will tell you, it's probably about a 10% improvement, maybe 10, 12, 15% improvement over the last time I ran tests, which was about a year ago, to this. So they're still fine-tuning drivers. They're still putting updates. Now, the reason all this came about is because I was testing the B570, the A750, and the A380 in AV1 encoding, and found there was a difference where there didn't used to be that much of a difference. Now there's quite a bit of a difference. So I thought I would go back and test to see how much the improvement was between these cards. When the B570 first came out, they weren't too far apart. Now they're stretching out, but there's still an improvement overall with the A750. So I was pretty impressed by that. I might have to go back and do a year-over-year comparison, but it's been noticeable. There are some games that don't change, like you'll see, like Borderlands 3 did not change from year to year, but older games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider did. Cyberpunk did. Of course, newer games are supported now. So I think it's good that they still do support them, and they're still working on drivers to improve them. So that in itself is pretty good. So if you do end up finding one of these cards randomly and you think, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. If you got, I mean, you're probably going to have a little bit bigger power supply. I would recommend probably at least a 500 watt, maybe a 600 watt. But if you've got that and you're looking for an inexpensive, decent card, especially if you do any kind of rendering work and you can use the AV1 encoder, yeah, I'd pick it up. It's going to look great in any build. So if you've got something with a glass panel on the side or a fish tank style or whatever, yeah, it's going to make your build look nice. And I think it does a pretty good job still. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. I hope you got something out of the video. That's all I got this time. As you guys see, I've changing a few things. We'll have to adjust on the fly and see how things go. But hopefully it's a better look. It's a cleaner look. I'm only going to, newer games, when I put them in the lineup, I'm only going to do 1080p high or 1440p high, whatever the equivalent is. And then some of as the older ones maybe drop off. When I replace, say, Borderlands 4, I'll replace Borderlands 3. Maybe I'll do the same thing, but I'll drop off the high, medium, and low so the charts aren't as confusing. But I still always test those. I'm just not going to be displaying them anymore. But some of these games I've been displaying that, so I'm going to do that on the older ones, but not on the newer ones. Anyway, I hope the transition is worth it. You guys can let me know down in the comments if so, or what you think about it or anything. If you got anything out of the video, go ahead and throw a like on it if you don't mind. Subscribe if you're not already. I would definitely appreciate that. Trying to hit 2,000, 3,000 and beyond so I can get this thing, get this thing going a little bit, you know? Let's do that. Don't forget to visit the socials. You can buy me a coffee if you want, or you can go to our Discord, do whatever you want. But if you don't do any of those things, I only ask you one favor. Doesn't cost anything. It's completely free. Just be nice to each other. Be kind. Just smile, wave, hold the door open, say good morning. Any of those things. Just you might find that doing something nice makes somebody's day or makes somebody feel a little bit better, and it'll probably make you feel better too. Unless you're a complete jerk, and then but we're not talking about that, are we? Nope. Don't be a jerk. Anyway. That is all I have for this time. So until I get myself into something I got no business getting into, and there's still a pile of stuff over there, yeah, that's it. So I'll see you later.